Tonight, former President Trump eroding President Biden's lead in the campaign cash race. A post-conviction windfall bringing in $141 million since May for the Trump campaign, outpacing President Biden's $85 million in the same period. It comes with the first presidential debate less than a week away.
I look forward to the debate on Thursday night, and we have to show that the man is grossly incompetent.
Mr. Trump holding informal policy sessions with advisors. President Biden hunkered down at Camp David for intensive prep. Tonight, the vice president weighing in during an exclusive MSNBC interview.
I think that the debate is going to make clear the contrast between our president, the current president, who works on behalf of the American people, fights for the American people, and the former president who pretty much spends full time fighting for himself.
A strong performance could help win over voters like Kurt, a Republican who voted for Nikki Haley in the GOP primary.
You voted in the Pennsylvania primary for a candidate that wasn't in the race anymore. Right. Why?
I just felt it was important that my voice was heard. And I think to really send a message that there are others out there like me, that would prefer an alternative to President Trump.
Nikki Haley won 20% of Republican primary voters in his home county of Erie, Pennsylvania, after leaving the race. The Biden campaign targeting these voters with ads and staff, while Haley has since endorsed Trump. The question now, where do these voters go in November?
My vote would probably be between Biden and a protest vote.
The debate will be a major moment for undecided voters. David Langdon says he isn't sold on either candidate, but is eager to watch.
A 90-minute debate on his feet with no notes is going to tell the nation whether Biden's able to run for another 4 years or not.
And Dasha, you're learning more about Mr. Trump's search for a running mate.
Yeah, Lester, that's right. Another debate for Team Trump, the who and the when for this major announcement. But tonight, sources tell us that the field has winnowed to 3 top contenders: North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.